Islam, Shalom, Hola, Aloha, Assalamu-alaikum, Osio, Bonjour. This is your brother Tarik Bey, Indigenous American Moor, coming to you live and in full effect. Thank you for joining me. Like, share, subscribe to my channel, hit the thumbs up. Helps the algorithm. Leave a comment, interact with the video. Thank you. Today I want to speak a little bit on future projections, something that might happen in the future that Hollywood might be showing a glimpse of. And it's been in a few maybe TV shows, a few movies, stuff that's out, and some things that are set to debut. There is a film that's coming out called Civil War, where they talk about Texas, the state of Texas, succeeding or starting a type of revolution from the United States. And Florida was also talking about seceding from the United States also. Maybe in like the future, or if like worse comes to worse type scenarios. And I believe it's just a breaking of the U.S.A. corporation. I believe it really has a lot to do with that, more like the unseen. But the state of Texas seems to be speaking on that. You can look up articles where it's been like a debate or up for question. Also, the state of Florida was talking about, or it's been up for debate or discussion about seceding. Another film that's older, but it spoke about the state seceding or some type of revolution, is the Hunger Games. If you remember the first Hunger Games, they spoke about how the states attacked the Capitol or something like that. So that was very interesting how the start of the Hunger Games happened. It was like some kind of state some kind of a state conflict with the federal government or the so-called Capitol, and it caused the world to go into like that type of Hunger Games scenario. Where they divided everybody up. There were sectors of people, sectors for like agriculture, sectors for mining and different productions and stuff like that. They had the whole populations segregated and like organized in certain areas of production for the betterment of the capital. All right. If you look at the first Hunger Games, they spoke about that, and I thought it was very interesting how that Civil War film is about the state of Texas seceding. And then there's actual talk now how the state of Texas National Guard, I believe, is actually on a standoff with the federal border control. And this is actually new as of January 2024. January 24th, 2024. So it's all some new developments. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to resolve, but it's very interesting. And I just wanted to make a video and talk about how these projections of Hollywood might actually have implications on future events that might be happening in the real world. There's also a show called Peripheral. All right, this is a series. It's a science fiction series. It's kind of new. I believe it came out. If it wasn't 2023, it was 2022. But the show is called Peripheral, and it's about like VR technology or something like that, like a virtual reality. But if you watch that show and you listen to the backstory of the main girl, the main character, her brother is like him and his friends are veterans of the war, and the war was the war between, I guess, the United States and Texas when it seceded, and there was a civil war or a type of revolution that happened in Texas. So that was very, very interesting. So the Civil War film that hasn't come out yet, The Hunger Games, which has about I want to say four films, but I'm specifically talking about the very first Hunger Games, and then the series Peripheral. All these are speaking about the states seceding from the United States Union or corporation, and there being some type of conflict or war as a result of that. And I thought that's very, very interesting in regards to what's actually happening in Texas and the talks about what was happening in Florida now and potentially to the future, because there was an event where the Florida governor was actually planning to piece together a Florida state militia that is completely separate from the federal government, that the federal government has no control of. You can look up this article yourself and read more about it, but the Florida state government needs and wants to set up a Florida state militia, which every state should have a well-regulated and funded and organized militia that's completely separate and autonomous from the federal government, which means it's separate from the National Guard, which can be called in by presidential decrees or the governors and things like that when they ask for that federal hand for assistance. But it's very, very interesting how they specifically, the governor of Florida specifically wants the Florida state militia to be completely autonomous from the Department of Defense. All right, I think that's very, very, very interesting to say the least. All right, I would love to hear more of what you think on this topic. Any films or shows that I might have missed that might have be forecasting or foreshadowing these events. Anything that I might have missed, go ahead and comment down below. I love to have a discussion. Once again, this is your brother Tarik Bey. Peace.